Good day, my students. I hope this message finds you well. This is my first chance at trying to put together a video that would include one of our slideshows, so let's get on with it. You've already seen this one, the structure and principles of the Constitution. As we mentioned, the structure of the Constitution starts off with a preamble, "We the people," as you can see here. At the very beginning, it tells you what the point of the Constitution is. It's the introduction. It sets out the reasons why it was written, to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. It has 7 articles. The first 3 create the 3 branches of government. Article 1 creates Congress. Article 2 creates the presidency, actually the entire executive branch. And Article 3 creates the judicial system, specifically the Supreme Court and any other courts that Congress might pass laws in order to create. Article 4 states the relationships of the states to each other and the national government. Stating, of course, exactly how that's going to work. 5 states how the Constitution can be amended. Article 6 contains the Supremacy Clause, stating that the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land and all states must follow it. And also any state law that contradicts federal or constitutional interpretation is null and void. Article 7 addresses ratification of the Constitution. Of course, because the Constitution is already ratified, it's no longer pertinent to anything. The amendments, the first 10 amendments, are the Bill of Rights. This is the third part of the Constitution. There are 27 amendments total. The ability to amend the Constitution allows it to change with the needs of the nation. Major principles: popular sovereignty, which is ruled by the people. The U.S. government is based on the consent of the governed. Now, one of the key points of popular sovereignty and the consent of the governed is, again, the idea of the Constitution is to protect liberty, the rights of the people. Another is, of course, to prevent the power of the federal government from becoming too great, which is why we have federalism. Power is divided between the national and state governments. It's a balance between state interests and the need for a strong national government. Remember that the founders at the time were still concerned about a central government that was too strong. Which, of course, brings us to the separation of powers. Powers of the national government are divided between the 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Now, so if you take the 2 of those together, federalism and the separation of powers, you can easily see how one is an extension of the other. Federalism divides the powers between the national level and the state level. And then further, at the national level, the powers of government are divided into 3 branches themselves. And the states also have that division as well. All of these are meant to, of course, protect people's rights. Checks and balances. Each branch has a way to exercise some control over the other branches. Example, Congress can pass laws and the president can veto them. Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 majority in each house, but the president appoints judges, but the Senate must approve them. So let's take a minute to look at this. Feel free to pause the video at this point, and you can see many different ways in which one branch can provide a check against another branch or prevent it from operating. This is, again, as we stated, as you've heard all your lives, to prevent the government from becoming too powerful. Now, judicial review is part of this, even though it's not actually in the Constitution. So the Supreme Court gained this power in the court case Marbury versus Madison, which you might remember with the midnight judges from Mr. Daly's class. So the Supreme Court can declare laws or actions of the president unconstitutional. And the same actually is true of state laws, can be declared unconstitutional as well. Limited government. Constitution limits the powers of the government by listing the powers it can and cannot have. That is the key focus here. The first 10 amendments setting specific limits on government power. Remember, the Bill of Rights doesn't grant you rights. The rights you have are those you are born with. The Constitution specifically states that the government is not allowed to take those rights away from you. And that is the key focus here of this particular thing. I hope this slideshow helped you review, and have a good day.